Hey guys, so as promised, season 2 analysis of Merlin BBC. Again, as always, I will be reviewing each episode briefly and telling you how many times Arthur says Merlin's name in each episode and giving a rundown of that. Okay, so let's get into it. Episode 1 of season 2, The Curse of Cornelius Sagan. In this episode, while going through the Pendragon vaults, Uther finds a tomb of the person who apparently built Camelot, and a thief basically would say, um, takes Merlin's position as Arthur's servant and uses it to steal a gem that was in the tomb's chest area, and gets possessed by the tomb spirit, basically. And then Merlin goes to Kilgara for help, in which return Merlin frees Kilgara. Well, promises to in the future. And Arthur says Merlin's name a total of 6 times in episode 1. Episode 2, The Once and Future Queen. In this episode, there is a jousting tournament between the knights of Camelot. Arthur learns because he's a prince, people treat him differently, and they don't upset him. So he plans to go undercover, and during that time he lives with Gwen, and he takes advantage of her kindness and good nature. And near the end of the tournament, they kiss, which I feel is a bit weird because it's only season 2. They're moving too fast in my opinion, just saying. But there is a unknown knight and assassin trying to kill Arthur. Of course, Merlin stops him. And in this episode, Arthur says Merlin's name 4 times. Episode 3, The Nightmare Begins. So this is Morgana's descent into her dark side. She has magic, she just set a few things on fire, and that makes her a little bit snappy and stuff. She talks to Merlin about this, and he wants to tell her, but Gaius says no. So he sends her to the druids to get help, but Uther thinks that she's been kidnapped. He sends Arthur after her to get her back, so on and so forth. And Arthur says Merlin's name 3 times. Episode 4, Lancelot and Guinevere. So Gwen and Morgana are out in the forest when they are attacked by some other king and their knights. And Morgana escapes while Gwen is taken prisoner. While in imprisonment, Gwen finds out that Lancelot, who has been working for this evil king. Arthur and Merlin attempt to rescue Gwen and they succeed, but Lancelot and Arthur both love Gwen at this point, so they also ready to give up Gwen for each other, which I think is amazing. But in the end, Lancelot leaves to, again, prove his worth, and Arthur says Merlin's name 7 times. More than Gwen's name, just so you all know. Okay, our first two-parter. Episode 5, Beauty and the Beast Part 1. So, in this episode, a troll takes the form of Lady Katrina, one of Uther's friends from childhood. So the troll puts a amulet on Uther that makes him fall in love with her, and only Merlin knows the truth that she's a troll. And at the end of the first episode, the first half, Merlin fails at trying to stop the wedding, and in the first half, Arthur says Merlin's name 4 times. Episode 6, Part 2 of Beauty and the Beast. That's ironic. Everybody finds out that Lady Katrina is a troll and Uther married a troll, and they have intercourse. Thank God they didn't show that in the episode. And Gaius and Merlin find out that the only way to break the troll spell on Uther is for Arthur to die temporarily. And that works, and Arthur kills the troll, and he says Merlin's name 3 times. The Witchfinder. In this episode, magic has been running rampant in some 3 women have come forward with claims of magic. So Uther brings in a witchfinder, and he plants evidence in Gaius's chambers to accuse Merlin because Merlin's been interfering with his investigation. But Gaius takes the blame to protect him because he's his uncle, like I said before. So with the hours left until Gaius' execution, Merlin finds out that the Witchfinder has fake, like, magical artifacts in his, like, chest, and the women have been poisoned by belladonna, which causes hallucinations and things that aren't real. And the Witchfinder gave them to the women. And he also has a frog throughout his throat, which I think was really cool. Arthur says Merlin's name only 1 time throughout the entire episode, which is in return to protect him. Episode number 8, The Sins of the Father. This was one of my favorite episodes of season 2, but not my most favorite. Arthur faces a challenge by a female knight, Morgause, who spares his life. But then she says that she knew his mother, and when he goes to meet her with Merlin, he finds out his mom died because of his father. You see, before Arthur was born, the queen was infertile. She had trouble conceiving. So Uther uses the help of a dark priestess to make Arthur be born. Again, an eye for an eye, a soul for a soul. So when Arthur was born, his mother died to make sure that he would live, and then Uther started this war against magic. Arthur did not know this. So after finding out the truth, Arthur wants to kill his father, but Merlin stops him by telling that whatever Morgan said was a lie, and that it was just like an illusion, but it was actually real. Arthur said Merlin's name 3 times in episode 8. Episode 9, The Lady of the Lake. So this is where we meet Freya, Merlin's first love and his only love, to be honest, that was confirmed. He rescues her from a hunter and keeps her hidden underneath Camelot in the tunnels. He gives her food and takes care of her and starts to fall for her, and they do share a kiss. And he's ready to run away with her until he finds out sees the thing that's been terrorizing Camelot at night, because he's cursed to turn into a beast at night when night falls. So knowing that he can't be actually free with her, Arthur kills Freya, and then Merlin, of course, has to deal with the consequences. Arthur says Merlin's name 4 times in episode 9. Episode 10, Sweet Dreams. I hate this episode a little bit. The 5 kingdoms come together in Camelot to make a peace treaty, but one of the kings, Prince Aeline, his kingdom only profits from war. So he has to make a war between Camelot and King Olaf, whose daughter is off limits to everyone. King Aeline's jester puts a spell on Arthur to make him fall in love with King Olaf's daughter, um, Vivian, Lady Vivian. And then when that doesn't work, he puts Lady Vivian under a spell as well. The only way to break the spell is by True Love's kiss. But before Merlin finds that out, Olaf finds Vivian and Arthur in an embrace and challenges Arthur to a duel. And Merlin at this point has convinced Gwen to kiss Arthur, which he does somehow. I don't remember how, but he does. And it works. Arthur is cured. He's free. Gwen kissed him. And Vivian's still under the spell, which someone found a cure for. Hopefully, somewhere, somehow. Um, I says Merlin's name 8 times. Wow. Um, episode 11, the witch's quickening. So again, we get Morgana's descent into darkness and stuff. What did I forget in the last episode, which was the sins of the father? Morgause gives Morgana a bracelet that enhances her darkness, like her thoughts. They make them like more deranged and darkness and like evil. So the bracelet is making her descend into that darkness that Morgause wants. They're not sisters, by the way. That was just a lie that she totally could know close to Morgana. Just saying. Um, a druid rebel, Alvar uses more red to contact Morgana because in the vault of Camelot there is like this crystal that can see the future. So Morgana um gives the crystal to Alvar, and before that happens, Merlin sees the future of like Morgana trying to kill Uther and like succeeding, and then Arthur dying, obviously. But yeah, at the end of the episode, Morgana disowns Uther as her father figure, and helps Alvar escape from the dungeons of Camelot. And Arthur says Merlin's name 5 times. In the Fires of Ir Solas, episode 12, Morgause uses her magic to reawaken 7 dead knights of Camelot in their like statue forms. She seduces, yes, seduces Morgana into being the source of the spell. Basically, Morgana is the thing that's keeping these things alive. Merlin and Arthur leave the city to fight the knights on their own turf, and they succeed. But on the way back, they realize that everyone is asleep, and they're trying to, and then they start to get affected by the spell themselves. They start getting sick. They start getting sweaty and sleepy. It's a really thing. After Merlin promises to free the dragon Kilgara, he has to poison Morgana to stop the spell. He doesn't want to. Okay, let me just say this right now. Merlin is not to poison Morgana. He has no choice. It is the only way to stop the spell and that everyone lives. It is the last straw for Morgana. I do agree that this is what makes her like evil, but it is not his choice. He has no choice. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And then after everyone's awake and well, Merlin frees Kilgara using Excalibur. And then the chaos happens. Episode 13, The Last Dragon Lord. I am 50-50 on this episode. Just saying. So after Merlin resists the dragon, he immediately begins his attack on Camelot. Kilgara is like full on attacking Camelot because of what they did to him and his kind. I understand, but still, Kilgara, a little much. Just saying. um, I forgot to say the name. Fuck. Um, the last episodes, episode 12, I said Merlin's name 5 times. Okay, moving on. Um, yeah, Last Dragon Lord, Lord of Dragon Camelot. Um, Arthur finds out the only way to stop the dragon is to get a Dragon Lord, and the last one is living in a few towns over. So apparently that Dragon Lord is Merlin's father, Balinor, and once they do find him, Arthur is sick, severely sick, and hurt by Kilgar's attacks. So he's put. So Balinor heals him, and Arthur tries to tell him about, and Merlin tries to tell him about how he is his son, but he's getting interrupted. But finally, that next night, while around a fire, Arthur tells Arthur Merlin tells Valinor that he is from Ealdor and that he is from the sun, and also his son. They agree to try to be a father and son, like a family, but unfortunately, Senrid's men kill Balinor, leaving Merlin as the last Dragon Lord. And he is now able to control the dragons and order Kilgar to never attack Camelot again as long as he is alive. And this is the most times I says Merlin's name in this episode, which is 10. Yeah, that's season 2. Total number of times Merlin's name was said by Arthur, 63 times this season. The least being episode 7, the most being episode 13. Um, Season 2 was not my favorite season. Again, it was more like filler episodes, most of them I feel like. Um, I did like Merlin having a love interest for like one episode. That was nice. I do agree, but I feel like it could be more if they had kept Freya alive. Um, Going to the characters themselves, Merlin definitely stronger now. He's a Dragon Lord now. That's confirmed. Um, this is where you see more like protective Merlin and like a rant that Merlin did. It was really long. I don't have to say word for word, but basically how Merlin feels like he has no respect in his line of work because he's been like ridiculed, attacked, killed almost multiple times by Arthur and other people. He just feels like very like on edge and like underappreciated. But he is like in the prophecy to help Arthur become king. So he's like accepting that more and more. He's not really a servant anymore. He is a good friend to Arthur. Arthur himself, much kinder in this season. He's listening to Merlin more. I realize that. In the episode with Morgause for the first time, the sins of the father, we saw that Arthur loves his mother a lot, even though she's not there with them. Looks more like his mom. I realized that as well. Um, and he has his mother's traits. I do see that. I just feel like the conditioning of Luther has made him a little cold-hearted, but he cares for Morgana. He cares for Merlin a great deal. I do see that, and he's in love with the servant girl, Morgana. Let me say this right here. C is not a bad person. C was conditioned again by Uther, by Margaux, by Arthur, by everyone to become this way. In the first few episodes, like I said, C knew C had magic by episode 3. C was scared, like everyone else is in this show because of Uther. C was scared of being killed because of who C was. If Merlin had told her about his powers, I feel like that would be more intact when Margaux came in because she wouldn't need her bracelet of darkness. That's what I call it. That bracelet influenced her to like act on those dark thoughts of like hurting Luther and like taking over Camelot because I don't like her. I don't like where it goes, okay? That bracelet was a bad idea. I agree that yes, the poisoning was her last straw, but again, he had no choice, and Merlin had no choice in the matter of poisoning Morgana, okay? It was not his fault, it was the dragon's fault. It was Kilgara's fault, not Merlin, not Morgana, no, not no one. It was Kilgara, okay? It was the dragon. It was prophecy. One. Um, Still, to my mind, a minor character, not that much screen time, but still getting more, becoming a main character. Season 3, I feel like her real, like, star moments right now. She's just Arthur's love interest. Of course, she is, I guess. Side characters this season again: Gaius, um, again Uther, hate him. Valinor was a big part of this season. Um, has that he died after one episode. Freya, Merlin's love interest for one episode, then she died as well. Kilgara again, giant overgrown lizard, deserved to die but did not die. Still not dead in the last season. Kind of sad about that. Morgause, I hate her as well. Okay, these are my opinions, so please don't go into comments and hate my opinions. These are my opinions, okay? But yeah, that thing more red again. Side character, one episode. Not that much to say. I mean, yeah. So again, tomorrow will be episode. Tomorrow will be season 3. Then Thursday will be season 4, and hopefully Friday will be season 5. And then maybe I'll do some extras with the advertisements, deleted scenes, extra episodes, stuff like that. Or maybe I'll do season 6 because that is something that's on YouTube. It's just the audio though, no, like not an actual episode. Just like audio episodes. I haven't seen through one episode of that, and I do love it so far. But yeah, I do not know the name of the artist. I will probably link that later in season 5's episode. So yeah, bye. See you tomorrow in the next episode for season 3.